A portion of the structure had collapsed from the third floor down in a pancake-type collapse.
I never thought that this would happen, so I'm extremely scared and I'm concerned for future.
Tonight, we have the latest on today's partial collapse of a parking garage at Bayshore Mall. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jessup Reisbeck.
And I'm Natalie Shepard. It happened just after noon today at the Silver Spring garage at the mall. Now, it took a while for us to learn that apparently no one was injured when that section of concrete fell from the third floor to the ground floor.
But of course, there is significant damage. And as you heard, the collapse has left people worried about safety at Bayshore now. We do have team coverage for you, including reaction from people who were at the mall this afternoon. Drew Burgoyne has some information about how the weight of snow on that garage may have played a role.
But we start with CBS 58's Adam Reif, who is live at Bayshore with what we know so far about what was a frightening incident out there, Adam.
It was for quite a while. Just a moment ago, the final fire truck on scene left. We have a police car here and the roads are still blocked off. But for the most part, the first responders have cleared this scene. And what we did have up until a moment ago was the construction crews that were trying to solidify that with some beams and make sure that they had braced the remaining area surrounding that collapse zone. First responders believe nobody is hurt, despite the two cars that were parked on the ground level. They were crushed just after noon, buried under that mountain of concrete and snow. North Shore Fire Chief Robert Whitaker said at first those rescue crews unsure if anybody was buried with the mountain of concrete and snow. They interviewed the car owners. They saw security video, and that helped them determine with some level of confidence that nobody was buried underneath. Now, people nearby at the time of the collapse said buildings in the area shook from the force of it, and our drone video showed that severity of the damage from up above. At a news conference this afternoon, I pressed Glendale Mayor Brian Kennedy and Fire Chief Whitaker about the structural integrity of this parking garage and who's in charge of inspecting it and asserting its safety. We were told the property owner, Bayshore Mall, is in charge of those inspections. In the meantime, they are still keeping a close eye on what remains standing.
The heavy urban rescue team and the structural collapse unit is working with the property owner's engineering firm and the manufacturer of some of the spans of concrete that are there on the engineering side of all this to make sure that it is indeed not in danger of any further collapse. And they have people on site now, and I'm assuming they'll have people on site for the next several hours.
And indeed, back out here live, those people do remain on scene. So does the police tape, and they have this area blocked off completely. It'll remain so for a long time, not just tonight and the nighttime hours. I did speak with one of the car owners off camera. She was in the mall when her car was crushed, but still very shaken by what could have been had she been inside. And as I mentioned earlier, Chief Whitaker says the cars on the second and third level should be prepared to stay there for the next several months because it could take a while to figure out how engineers are going to rebuild that ramp, if at all, to get those cars back down. Live here at Bayshore Mall, Adam Reif, CBS 58 News.
Adam, thank you very much. And as those rescue crews worked to clear snow and debris from the scene, a crowd gathered. Some of those people were aware of what had happened, others trying to learn. The CBS 58's Ellie Nakamoto-White talked to some of them and also joins us from Bayshore. Ellie.
Good evening, Natalie, Jessup. I heard from several employees at neighboring businesses who tell me that when they came into work this morning, they didn't expect to see this. Now, some tell me that when they came and they arrived at work and they heard the crash, they say it was like a loud bang or like a train that was moving by. One student at Bryan and Stratton College tells me that she was actually here to take her midterm exams. She says she's been coming to school here for the past 2.5-ish years and parks at this garage on the second floor every Thursday. So when she saw the damage, she was shocked and in disbelief.
I wasn't really paying attention to my surroundings. I was on my phone, listening to music, and a firefighter stopped me and was like, "What are you doing? This isn't safe." And I look up and I see what's happening, and I'm like, oh, because they didn't have the police tape up yet, so I almost walked into it just from not paying attention and being kind of a dummy.
Cece says that she and her classmates have actually noticed cracks in the parking structure before and even pointed them out to each other. But again, they never expected to see damage, especially at this level, happen. For now, reporting live at Bayshore Mall, Ellie Nakamoto-White, CBS 58 News.